Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you things that you may not have known about your favourite games so that you can look really clever in front of your mum. In today's episode, we answer more phone calls from Ghostface in Call of Duty Warzone, I find out that my childhood fear was true in Far Cry 6, and we argue over inches in Hot Wheels Unleashed. As always, if you think you know of a hidden video game detail that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comments section or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Oh, and leaving a like on any of my videos lets me know that you enjoy my content. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So let's once again begin with Far Cry 6. If I'm honest, I didn't expect to be covering Far Cry 6 so much after my big Easter eggs and hidden details video I uploaded a couple of weeks ago. But since that video, you guys have suggested loads of really cool things that I missed. First up is actually part of a detail that we did feature in that original Far Cry video. Now, we all know that Danny will sing along to the radio when driving a car. But something that's really cool is what happens when you turn off the radio whilst Danny is mid-song. So Danny will continue to sing after the radio is switched off. It's one of those things that people do when they try to catch you singing, so I do feel bad for Danny here. Now, as a dad of 2 children, I like to wear flip-flops, and it turns out that freedom fighters are also partial to the foot thong. The thing is, flip-flops aren't the best choice of footwear for those looking to sneak up on enemies. Here, take a listen to what normal boots sound like in Far Cry 6. So regular sounding boots. Now let's see what flip-flops sound like. So much like real life, flip-flops will realistically flip and flop in Far Cry 6. As a flip-flop fan, I love this detail. So when I was a kid, I had an irrational fear that sharks could hide in swimming pools. They'd wait for you to take a dip before appearing and chomping your leg off. Of course, that never happened, but Far Cry 6 has me doubting swimming pools all over again. At Jose Castillo's island, you can find this. Yep, that is a shark in a swimming pool. Now, it's worth mentioning that, as far as I can tell, the shark will only appear in this pool during the Napoleon El Pequena mission. I 100% know I said that wrong. Any other time I visited the island, the pool was empty. Oh, and whilst we're at the pool, if you choose to dump a body in water, this will happen. So bodies will float for a while before sinking to the bottom. I must admit, there's a lot more detail in Far Cry 6 than I initially thought. Up next is the recently released Hot Wheels Unleashed. Now, when I heard there was a new Hot Wheels game, I didn't really think too much of it. I mean, surely it would be another licensed game meant to trick grandparents into spending money at Christmas. Well, Hot Wheels Unleashed is actually good. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. Now, despite the on-track action being exciting, the detail that we're after is actually in the post-race screen. Now, because the cars in Hot Wheels are obviously toy cars, some changes needed to be made to how things are measured stat-wise. An example of this can be seen in the way that drifts are tracked. If your language is set to English, then your drifting exploits are measured in inches, and if you set your language to anything other than English, they are measured in centimeters. Again, this is because the cars are so small, it wouldn't make sense to measure drifts in meters or yards. So all the way back in episode 2 of this very series, we discovered that firing a high caliber rifle would cause this to happen in tactical FPS insurgency sandstorm. so your character's ears will ring after firing a few shots. Well, today's insurgency detail needs us to equip a light machine gun and simply hold down the trigger. So your character lets out a shout that would make Rambo proud. Okay, perhaps not, but it's still a really cool detail. Next up is another detail from a Spider-Man game. This time it's the 2002 GameCube version. Now, at the beginning of the game, you're asked if you'd like to play the tutorial or head straight into the game. If you decide that you're ready to hop into Spidey's shoes right away, then you can, though the narrator of the game will take note.
Here's a tip for when you're on the side of a building. If you press the zip line button, you'll zip in the direction you're throwing. Of course, you'd know this if you played the basic tutorial, but I guess you're just cooler than the rest of us.
So the narrator, who is actually Bruce Campbell of the Evil Dead fame, makes a snarky comment about you and your tutorial skipping ways. I know I've said it before, but I love things like this in video games. Now, up next is a game that I'd be very surprised if any of you had heard of. The Haunted Island, a frog detective game, sees you playing as the aforementioned Detective Frog, who must solve the mysterious goings-on at the aptly named Haunted Island. Now, many PC gamers will know the feeling of spending hours in the graphics options before even starting the game. But Frog Detective's graphics options are pretty simple, though they don't seem to make much sense. The graphics quality options are apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor, she hit the floor. Next thing you know, shorty got low, low, low. Now if that sounds familiar, that's because it's the lyrics to the 2007 song Low by Flowrider. I'd love to play the song here, but I can't due to copyright reasons, so I'll leave a link to it in the description. Quite why it's the name of the graphics options in Frog Detective, well, I have no idea. So to end today's video, let's take a look at more phone calls from Ghostface in Call of Duty Warzone. Now, in the last episode of this series, we discovered that when Ghostface calls, he will sometimes recognise the operator he is speaking to. Now, I thought that this only happened to Modern Warfare operators, but loads of you messaged me saying that Ghostface had recognised your Cold War operatives too. So I jumped back into Warzone to see what other operators were on Ghostface's hit list. First up is Modern Warfare operator Kruger, who receives this phone call.
You don't have shit on your namesake, Kruger.
That phone call was of course referencing famous movie killer Freddy Krueger. Up next is Cold War operator Adler.
Am I really calling you Adler? Is there a voice on the other end of the line? Or have you lost your mind entirely?
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Maxis also gets a personalised call.
Hello, Samantha. Let's play a game. How about murder in the dark?
Stone is also recognised by Ghostface.
I hear you don't scare easily, Stone. Just as well, I like a challenge.
And finally, here is what Ghostface says to Ghost.
Sorry, Ghost, but you're about to become the real thing.
Now, I know there are probably more of these recordings, but recording those 5 alone took me ages, as I was either killed, some audio was played over the top as I listened to the call, or the voice line just took ages to actually play. However, if you do know of any other really cool phone calls, then let me know and I'll do my best to check them out. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Remember, if you are a fan of Easter eggs, secrets, and tiny details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.